for another live Ask Big Van show with me, your host, Big Van. Don't forget about social media producer Mazzani. We got Ryan kicking in the back. Kenny Payne on sounds, not here tonight. Andrew, we got Zada, we got Nick, we got Kendall in there. Look at this guy. Andrew Bridgeforth, future presidential candidate and maybe winner. Don't forget to share before we go live. Take just a second. Use your thumb, use your mouse cursor, use whatever you're watching and share. Share is our carers. Our software lets us know who shared. We'll move your questions and comments to the top. Can't wait to see you guys and talk to you guys on this live episode of the Ask Big Van Show. What's up, everybody in the whole wide world? Look at this. Look at this mug. Can you believe it? You're live watching the Ask Big Van Show. Welcome for joining us. Thanks for being a part of the show. We're excited about getting to your questions and comments and just having a good time with you tonight and answering all the problems in the whole wide world. With me, as always, is our beautiful social media producer, Mazzani Speaks. How are you doing tonight, Mazzani?
Great. I'm great. You know, it's just wonderful.
You sure are pretty.
Thank you.
Did you get enough of that today? People just telling you that you just look
continue.
pretty? Well, you just look very pretty.
Thank you.
And with us in the producer's lounge back there in the hole, look at these beautiful people back here.
Oh, yeah.
There's Ryan, Linnea, guest visitor there. She's going to share her opinions on some things. She's also going to do some beatboxing for us if need be.
Regular show go.
Yeah, there's Kendall in the back and Kenny's seat. She's doing sound effects. I think she's going to do a great job for us. And also, we got Zyda back there. Quick, see these cameras cutting? That don't just happen magically. Zyda does that. She's brilliant. Good job, Zyda. We're excited. And with me again in the basically this would be the co-host seat. Wouldn't you say that?
Oh yeah.
Is Andrew, and they've given him the title of future presidential candidate.
Oh, stop. You guys. What?
Do you think you got aspirations to be the president of the United States?
I think The Rock is thinking about running for president. If he can do it, then anybody can do it.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, you never know.
Well, look at Ronald
It's
Reagan.
about power.
You got Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't president, but he was governor.
Yeah.
Who else you got?
Kanye, yeah.
No, I'm talking about guys who actually were elected because of their celebrity.
Donald Trump?
Well, Trump was I need this camera right here. Well, Trump was he was actually a business leader long before he was any kind of a celebrity.
That's
and
true.
so he had a big business following. I remember 15, 20 years ago reading his business books and thinking this guy needs to run for president, long before he had TV shows and stuff like that. So but so I could say maybe you could hybrid Trump in there as like a celebrity figure. I don't think anybody that voted for him because he was a celebrity. Do you think?
No, I didn't take him seriously at first, to be quite honest.
Because he was a celebrity?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Good job, kid. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like I think maybe the celebrity even hurt him in the votes, but he got elected based off of his leadership skills and the people who knew him as a business leader.
100%. You could say the same thing about Kanye. I mean, he says a lot of common sense stuff that's not really. That jacket, am I right?
Sorry.
I was like, yeah, they make a popcorn back there.
He says a lot of common sense stuff that isn't really a mainstream thought process or the accepted point of view. Right?
I just think it's
a
funny
smart
how
guy.
you couldn't carry on a conversation while she was putting her jacket.
It was all
You
intro. I'm like, all right, somebody's got to tell her.
You were like turning. What?
I'm good.
What's his jacket? What's
No,
going on with the jacket?
We need to get comfortable. We're good. But people don't take him seriously
Yeah.
because, he's crazy Kanye, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think he has a lot of common sense points of view. So
Yeah, I mean,
Kanye?
yeah.
But, like, right now?
Okay. That's just media takeout, sensationalizing everything that he has to say. And he is a little bit fringe, but he's a billionaire who's always in the spotlight. He's always going to be cast in a negative light just for views, right?
yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been eccentric anyways,
That's
in
true.
everything he said, even if it wasn't political. Yeah.
A little bit, what's that word when you're full of yourself all the time?
Crazy. Arrogant?
An ass.
Maybe a little bit arrogant.
Prideful.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But whatever. The point is, I think that even if you're a celebrity, that doesn't discount your intelligence. Or
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. A lot of people are celebrities. Well, I mean, it takes a lot of work to get famous, obviously, or else everybody would be, right?
hard work.
Yeah, I mean,
persistence.
even people that like if you look at interviews with family members of famous people, they always say they are the hardest working people I've ever met. You know, they work harder than anybody else that I've ever met. You know, and so to make it look easy is the challenge, right? To look like, oh, I'm just this uber rich person that just breezes through life and everything goes my way. Well, the reality is they got to work for it. You know.
Well, that being said,
I salute you.
yeah, absolutely. But that being said, there is an opposite side of the coin where there are a lot of very stupid celebrities out there, and unfortunately, they have such a large platform and such influence on the zeitgeist, right?
Oh, well, yeah.
They do a lot of damage.
You got your damaging celebrities for sure. Just like,
Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh, just kidding. I love Leo, but I don't agree with everything he thinks.
I haven't even been hearing anything he's saying.
He is he's from California. He's a millionaire.
Yeah.
You can draw your own conclusions.
Oh, all millionaires from California say things you don't like?
Global warming,
Yeah. Well, climate change.
right. Whatever.
Not that I don't think pollution isn't a serious problem, but there's a whole narrative and motivation behind that line of thought that I just don't believe in.
Yeah.
Or I think that it has a pernicious meaning or motive behind it.
Yeah.
Pernicious.
Pernicious.
Pernicious is
That sounds like my mom name.
Well, if you guys are watching the show, tuning in now, thanks for joining us on the Ask Big Van show. We're going to get into some questions. I know when we left the show last week, there was a lot of questions we couldn't even get to. Right? There was just some lingering issues and world problems that we needed to solve that we couldn't even get to. So we're looking forward to getting to those tonight. I'm just being a little sarcastic there, but I think we did have some questions, right, Mazzoni, that you were like, we need to get these, but then we got to go, and I want to go home, or whatever it was.
Huh? Yeah, I do be wanting to go home.
No, I'm just joking.
That's facts.
Hey, so if you guys are watching, you don't know, here's how it works. Put in the comments below. You can hashtag AskBigVan or just put in the comments a question that you want us to discuss or a comment that you want us to discuss. Maybe it's a hot topic or something that's going on around the world that you want us to get into, and we'll try to get to it if we have time. If you don't mind, since we're getting started, if you'll just take your thumb and share this, or if you're watching it on your computer or on your at home or whatever, if you can just share this onto a group that you're a part of, maybe if you're a part of a yard sale group or something, just share the show out, put it out in there. We appreciate that as well. We like to see new blood, new viewers come on and ask some new points of view and give some new points of view in their comments and stuff like that. So, cool. You ready to get started with a question there, Mazzoni?
Yeah, but before we get started, never mind. I'll just tell you after.
Are you cold?
Hearted.
Cold-hearted.
Okay, let's get started. So, this first question comes from, disgusting.
What?
Linnea Poole would like to know, if you had to choose between brushing your teeth or wiping your
Oh, gosh.
butt, which one would you choose to do for life?
Like you couldn't do the other one for your whole life? You could do one or the other for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Listen, this is an easy answer.
It's an open-ended question. It's pretty easy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, what would you do?
No, let him make him answer.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, man. What do you say?
If you had to choose either brush your teeth or wipe your hiney for the rest of your life, not once you head down that path, you can't go back to the other one.
Right.
I like where this is going.
I'm gonna have to wipe my hiney there. So,
Wow, okay. I don't agree.
Yeah.
I was about to say.
Really, you guys just walk around with mess in your pants?
You can just jump in the shower. What do you mean?
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh,
Or
you didn't
a
give me that
bidet.
option.
A bidet. I mean,
A
that is
bidet.
kind of cheating, I guess.
Well, I could just like put some scope in my mouth and swish it around.
Yeah, that's true.
Or, no, really, here's the key. You can go the way. You can get a bidet, or you can take showers, or
Let the water run down your butt.
you can have somebody else brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just say?
We're
See how
cheating.
outside of the box she thinks? It's just brilliant. She's just like,
I'm just saying, you can think about it.
yeah. How many of you viewers are astonished by the lack of caveman that's on my face? My wife finally had her way, and I told you guys last episode that I was going to be shaving it off. Remember? And so, hopefully you were prepared for this. Hopefully we didn't lose viewers. Maybe we're gaining some viewers. Maybe we're losing viewers because of the caveman look.
maybe.
So,
Maybe.
You ready for
But
the next
Let's
question?
get the.
yeah, let's. Yeah, where's the sound effects? We need to get Kendall. We need more cowbell.
I just need more cowbell.
I just need more cowbell.
Oh, behave.
There we go.
There we go. All right, what we got here?
This one comes from Tartiana. So
Oh.
yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Zani loves Star Wars questions.
I don't mind Star Wars questions. It's The Office. But anyway.
Oh, Mazzani wants questions about The
No,
Office
I do
tonight.
not.
If you're
I do
watching.
not. I do not.
If you're wondering
I
what
do
kind of
not.
questions to ask, anything that has to do with The Office or Parks and Rec, Mazzani loves those.
I don't mind Parks and Rec. Which Star Wars movie is your favorite and why?
Is this a well, for me, I mean, it's hard to say one particular movie. Good one. It's hard to say one particular movie because, like, obviously, the 4, 5, and 6, the originals, those are classics, you know. And anytime I get a chance to see those, obviously, I'm going to watch those. However, I would say you could dump first 1, 2, and 3. Of course, that's different, and I found that that's different by generation. By the way,
Absolutely.
the one I think I like the most, and believe it or not, I think I like The Force Awakens maybe the best.
God.
Really?
Because it was so long before we come back, and so when you had the intro scenes and she's like rappelling down inside that crashed Star Destroyer, and it's just like, because at the end of the last, what I remember as the last show was Return of the Jedi. You had Star Destroyers crashing out of space. And they didn't answer those questions like, where did those things go? And so the beginning of Force Awakens has these things crashed in this planet, you know, and she's rappelling down, and I just thought it was
So it was
killer.
It was more nostalgic. For
Absolutely.
Very nostalgic, yeah. And then you had Han Solo in it, you know, and you had
You. Leia.
and I love the way they did Kylo Ren as well. You know, fact that because the fact that when he had his helmet on, he had like that. He had like that sound to his voice, but when he took his helmet off, he still had that sound in his voice. Yeah, you know.
I'm disappointed, honestly, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I also strong runner up would be Rogue One.
I know.
Strong runner up for me would be Rogue One.
That was a decent one.
Yeah.
I like that one. Well,
Decent.
That's a great one.
I said good day, sir.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's generational. Because your first nostalgia, right? Your first interaction with Star Wars was what, in the 70s?
Yeah.
How old?
70s?
80s. How old were you?
Yeah,
when you
in the
first saw
80s. Yeah, it was
okay.
80s.
You were probably a kid, right?
Yeah, I was a kid
When I
You
was,
were probably a kid.
in the 80s.
What are you, like 90? When I first saw Star Wars, I was a little kid. It was episode 1.
Oh, really? Phantom Menace?
Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Darth Maul. And that was awesome.
I will give you that. Darth Maul was cool.
Right. And the lightsaber battles in the first 3
Yeah.
are so much better than obviously 4, 5, and 6. And even
True.
these recent Disney Marvel ones, or not Marvel, but Disney ones.
How about Vader at the end of Rogue One coming through?
That was cool.
Yeah, coming through, like, just blasting his way through. That was cool. And what I loved about that is nobody'd seen Vader for like 30 years now, right, on a movie, right? Because you got, at that point, you had 4, 5, and 6, and then you had 1, 2, and 3, and it's been like 35 years since you've seen a movie with Vader in it. And then they slipped Rogue One in there, because even with the new ones, even with Force Awakens and everything, Vader's not in those, you know? So here it is, they slide, and that's the other thing that Disney did that was brilliant is Rogue One, is it's really episode 3.5.
Yep.
So they've come and they've taken here's a series of movies that have stood the test of time, and now they've decided, hey, let's slide another movie right in here between 3 and 4 and totally shake up the way that movies are made. So now every great trilogy of every movie you've ever seen, Lord of the Rings, you can come in now and have a Lord of the Rings 2.5.
Did you see they're making a prelogue to
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings?
a TV show.
I don't think that's going to be very good, to be quite honest.
No, I don't think it will be either. But is Peter Jackson doing that? I don't think he's making that. What happened to the?
I'm not sure. Amazon. It's going to be on Amazon Prime though. If I can derail the conversation in a negative
Try
light,
turning it off and on again.
I specifically don't like these newer Disney ones because there's less gore. People are getting sawed in half in the prelims, right? Like,
Yeah, Darth Maul was cut in half.
yeah, and it was awesome. It was
I wouldn't say
realistic.
sawed in half. That's a little
Cut in half,
slice.
right?
Yeah, it's a saber.
Sliced in half,
Yeah.
right? And these new ones, like, There's no.
What are you talking about?
legitimate-
Kylo Ren took one to the face, full on.
He took one to the face, and he took his helmet off, and he had a little scar.
Yeah, when that same cut would cut a oak tree in half.
Yeah. I honestly didn't want these newer ones to be canon, just because Disney made them, and obviously they're pushing their agenda in their
Yeah.
movies, and it's so obvious, and you see that in everything now, commercials, movies,
Well,
it's all TV shows just pushing this agenda all the time, and it's really sickening.
I can appreciate though what Disney's doing in that when they first bought Lucasfilm, I thought, oh my gosh, they're gonna destroy the franchise. Then when I saw the advertisement for Rogue One, it was called Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. I was like, oh man, they're gonna completely oversaturate the market. They're gonna put these shows out. There's gonna be a new Star Wars movie every freaking 2-3 times a year, and it's gonna ruin the whole series. But they didn't. They came out with Rogue One, and it was great. And then it was like a year before we got anything else, and that was, I think, episode 8, right, after Rogue One. Then they did Solo, like a year later.
I was going to say, when you were saying that Rogue One was 3.5, actually Solo came before Rogue One. Like, Disney Plus.
I don't think so.
No, it did. Disney Plus has them in, like, actual order, not when they came out, in the actual order that they take place. And it's 1, 2, 3, Solo, Rogue One, 4, 5, 6.
That
7,
may
8,
be
9.
chronologically on the storyline, Star Wars storyline, but I don't think release date. I think.
No, I'm not saying release date. That's like.
Oh, you mean if you follow the chronological timeline in history, in
that's
Star
what
Wars history?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I'm
gotcha.
saying. Like,
That makes sense.
It wouldn't necessarily be 3.5. That's why it's like I forgot about the Solo movie, because that's why Tatiana asked that question.
But
'cause we've
no-
been binge watching all.
Hey, listen.
But Solo wouldn't be. What number would Solo be?
Simmer down.
Solo's even before 1.
Listen, guys.
Simmer down.
I listen to the canon all the time.
No, Solo.
What are the viewers saying? Do they
Solo-
have any input on this?
Solo takes place after 3.
No.
Because it's the introduction of stormtroopers. That wouldn't be before 1. There was no stormtroopers before 1.
Yeah, but Solo. How old would he be in relation to? Oh, he's quite a bit older than Luke, isn't he? And Luke's just a child at the beginning of 3.
And like I said, that's just like
That could be, yeah.
Not the order they were. Say this.
Rogue One was too. Yeah.
Not that they were released, but like the
That's right,
actual
Timothy.
order in like Star
Kevin.
Wars time.
Why did I call him
Ask
Timothy?
the question.
Because I was reading this.
Listen, can I answer the question?
Yes.
For the ladies.
Okay.
The best one was when we can see Annie, because he was fine.
Anakin.
Third
Yeah.
one.
And that's on period.
Did you like when he was chopped his arms and legs off? Did you like that?
His
Burning.
face was still pretty.
Well, he was on
No,
fire.
technically his
no,
face had melted
Homeboy
off.
was very attractive, like the whole movie. I felt sorry for him the whole time.
Just typical of a woman watching a movie star. You know, arms cut off, legs cut off, face melted off. I still take him. He's fine, man. It's that money. I see them dollar bills.
No, incorrect.
Power. Yeah.
Incorrect. I think, and oddly though, weirdly, I think adult Yoda is attractive.
Adult Yoda? What is happening?
What are you talking about?
What is
You
happening?
think that's attractive?
It's something about his eyes. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes looking at me. Oh, Lord.
Oh, goodness.
Good Lord.
He climbing off. Just crawl, baby. Just crawl.
Pineapples.
Mazani,
Wait, let me change your ventilator, baby. Look up
I
here.
am your daddy.
My sexy body.
Oh my god. Okay, well, how about this, Van?
Hey, you know what else he says to you is, use the fork. Because he doesn't have arms, he can't tell. No, the other one.
Oh my god.
There's Mazani's
Yeah,
man
something
right
about
there.
him. Look at him.
Bow,
Look at
chicka,
him.
wow, wow.
He looks like he has to share me some wisdom.
Oh my.
Oh my goodness.
My sexy body.
What are we even talking about? What is happening right now on this show?
I like where this is going.
I'm sorry. I just felt like we were staying stagnant.
Oh,
so I had
man.
to pop some things in there, you know?
Yeah.
You meant that.
Yeah, don't lie.
You like that, Yoda?
This is her particular Yoda. She keeps next to her pillow.
I don't
She keeps
have
on
the
her
Yoda.
pillow.
I don't. Hey, that would be a good question. That's a good question.
What is it?
What like animated character or non-existent like
And
character do you
choose-
find
you
attractive?
choose Yoda.
Oh my gosh.
I don't
Right.
actually choose Yoda. It was a
Treacherous
joke.
waters
You're
there.
bringing up the
Treacherous
Jack Harlow. You see the Jack Harlow interview where he said that all the cartoon characters that he found attractive.
No, what did he find attractive? Were any of them like
oh
me?
my gosh, I don't want to.
You ever watch
you know what?
Dexter's Lab?
Let's move away from that.
Yeah.
Dexter's mom though.
I don't find cartoon characters like even like sometimes they try to make anime look all sexy and everything. To me, like I honestly, this is the way I look at that. Even if they like have all of the features and all that stuff, I can't get past the fact that some most likely dude stood there and drew those boobs on that girl, right? And I'm like,
I am not the gay.
Do you know what that's called?
it just doesn't do anything for me. Like things that other guys draw or not, they just don't turn me on. So
I wasn't asking you that. Just attractiveness.
that's what attractive means.
No, it does not.
Mazzani, I'll tell you, one of them was the girl reindeer from Rudolph. That was one of Jack Harlow's.
The girl
That's a
reindeer
little
from
weird.
Rudolph. Was there a girl
That's
reindeer?
a little weird.
Yeah.
What?
You pay too close attention to
Rudolph's love
movies.
interest.
Oh, it wasn't one of the.
That's
It
weird.
wasn't one of the pulled the sleigh.
No.
I got you. There's just some other chick off on the
Or
side.
She-Go from Kim Possible.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, she was.
a
Shawty
baddie,
was
though.
bad.
She's
Yeah,
a baddie.
Shawty was bad.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Kim was
She-Go.
bad. Kim.
Hey,
Kim
what
was
about
bad.
the Roger Rabbit lady?
Oh yeah.
No, you
she's
didn't.
A down piece too.
She's a bad.
Lola Bunny?
She's a
Jessica
Yeah.
Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit.
Lola. That's how you said it, low key, ain't
Ain't
it?
that the girl from Shark Tale?
Lola. Well, hello
No,
there.
it's
How
not.
you doing?
Speaking of Star Wars, Gina Carano,
Oh yeah.
right? Another example of Disney pushing their narrative. She wouldn't
Yeah.
put her label, her pronouns on her Twitter bio.
Oh yeah.
Refused to do it, and then she finally caved, and she said, "All right, my pronouns are beep boop bop. I identify as R2D2 unit.
Oh, yeah.
or a drone unit." She got fired over that, right? Because she just
Yeah. They rehired her
didn't
though.
feel like it. Did they really?
I thought they did. Didn't I hear that?
I know the Daily Wire.
Isn't she
hired
on the? That was before Mandalorian season 2, and they rehired her for season 2, right?
her. Is there a season 2? The new one's Boba Fett,
What?
Yeah, no, there's a season 2 of Mandalorian.
and they hired her back.
I haven't seen all of it yet,
No, that
so
happened
don't
after
give me any
season two.
spoiler warnings. I'm still working my way through season 2.
No,
So.
she was
Take it easy, man.
There is a
she was
season
fired
2.
after season 2.
It was after,
Yeah, she's not coming back.
so she's not coming back. I thought I read that they like had such a backlash from fans that they.
No, she had backlash. There was something else she did. It wasn't just that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, she commented on, it was like a COVID, basically. Like, she said that the people that sold out their neighbors were good citizens, right? People who sold out their Jewish neighbors were just following the rules, following the authority. And she was comparing that to,
The Holocaust, right? Yeah.
right, well, she's comparing how people are so tribal and divisive over COVID vaccines mandates.
Oh, and she was
things
saying
like that.
that's kind of like people selling out their neighbors.
Exactly. So, the media ran with it and said, "Oh, she says people who want
Yeah.
mandates are Nazis," which is not what she was saying.
Yeah.
But, commenting on how willing people are to accept the authority even if they sell out their
Yeah.
neighbors. Right.
I understand, but they'll take everything out of context nowadays and
100%.
cancel culture. Mazzani, how about some questions over there, and also how about some sound effects? It's like
Sorry, it was just so dry. I'm just.
yeah, that's what I want. Both of that. I want questions, wet questions, and wet sound effects.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick, Gina and Karina said, I just looked it up. She shared a post that implied that a Republican today is like being Jewish during the Holocaust.
Oh, I see.
That's what she said.
It's rumored she is returning since Kevin Blankenship.
Okay, before we go to the
You
next
guys like
question,
it when I talk like this?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Maybe I'll just talk like this forever.
I like it when you talk like
Thank you. Okay, Mazzani, we're ready for another question from
where
you.
is Kenny? Where is Kenny? I've never missed Kenny so much in my life.
Put a little bit of gristle in your voice.
I wouldn't. I would hate to put you two under. Anyway, Jeffrey Turner, we're gonna save your question for next week, and I'm gonna have Van do his research.
What?
What's the
Absolutely.
question?
What's the topic? And maybe I already know
Tesla?
the answer. I know about Tesla.
Do you?
Some. I know some things about
Yeah.
Tesla.
Do you
to
have
watch
you
the-
have you watched the documentary on Netflix?
The Tesla documentary? No.
then you don't know.
Well, maybe we can just make it up. They don't know that I don't know.
You want me to? They do now. Scotty doesn't know. Anyway, do you want to? We'll do it.
Only Jeffrey would know that I'm wrong.
How do you remember that?
I remember that. You want to do it?
Yeah. Well, let's at least hear it. We can at least give us the option of delaying.
Jeffrey Turner, do you think
JT.
Tesla really discovered how to distribute free electricity and they silenced him, or do you think he was a nut case?
See, Jeffrey didn't ask if I saw the show, so he's not making me give any factual foundational.
There's a follow-up question, actually. He
Okay.
then says, you might want to watch the documentary on it before you answer, and we can talk about it at a later
So he doesn't just
date.
want my off-the-hip answer.
Is it a Netflix documentary? Because that might be actual misinformation.
If it's Netflix, then I wouldn't watch it anyway because I don't watch Netflix. I don't give them my money. What's wrong with Netflix? Do you want me to start talking about Netflix?
Yes.
No,
Hey,
really, what's wrong with
let's-
Netflix?
Oh, we can talk about Netflix, but let me first answer this question.
Oh, sorry.
Can I answer
Go
this
ahead.
question?
Yeah.
Jeffrey, can I just answer this question based off of my knowledge of the world before before I watch the documentary, and then I can redact anything I said that was that I'm apologizing for. That I want to. No, I definitely put that question back up there if you don't mind. I definitely think that it's very possible that he invented that electricity that's free, like that, and then they
Oh,
silenced
it's
it.
on YouTube.
Because the reason I tell you that is I know a guy that was best friends with a guy. I know a guy who knew a guy.
Tell you what.
That worked at Napa Auto Parts. A friend of mine I used to work with doing construction. His next door neighbor and good friend, or his father's next door neighbor. This is getting longer. But anyways, he knew a guy. Let's just say that. And so I trust that he's telling the truth because their families were close. Anyway, so that guy worked at Napa Auto Parts and developed this little regulator that worked on a carburetor that would go like this, and it would regulate the gas, and it would turn a regular gas engine into like 80 miles per gallon. And he patented that. He patented that, and then Exxon came and bought. I believe it was Exxon came and bought the patent from him for $1.5 million and buried it. Just to keep. Just Are you sure? Yeah, absolutely. And that way, and they did that just so that obviously it would kill their. It's worth $1.5 million to shelf this so that it doesn't destroy them financially by saving everybody gas. And so to me to believe that they did that to Tesla, absolutely, I can definitely believe that that's the case, and because that stuff happens all the time. Matter of fact, I'm working on some creative patents and things that I'm hoping to create. It has to do with self-generating power and things like that. That I want to then probably sell the patents to Duke Energy or somebody like that, just so that I don't make it and produce it and sell it as a business. Maybe I'll produce it and sell it as a business and just make an abnormal amount of income from it, or maybe I'll just sell the patent for a smaller amount and then just move on.
To piggyback off of that, I mean that's.
What was that? What did that say? I didn't read it. I'm sorry.
I knew a guy who is your father's brother's nephew's cousin, former roommate. I know that guy too.
Well, to piggyback off what you were saying, you can look at a bunch of billion-dollar, trillion-dollar industries like the medical industry. They're not really. They might already have cures for certain diseases, but they're not really looking to cure them.
Yeah.
Right. Because they just make money off of treating them. Or
there's definitely that aspect of it. Different. Yep, absolutely.
Or even look at how oil is manipulated. The markets are manipulated, and we've even neutered our own ability, America's ability, to produce our own energy, be energy independent, and export oil for the first time under the Trump administration. We took that away because we're beholden to OPEC and Russia, special interests. We want to, line the pockets of the people in charge and not actually make it more affordable for people.
No question about it. I think everybody's aware of that factor. I mean, that's why so many politicians get a bad name.
Right.
As they push for these bills and these things that are all backed and for the benefit of their endorsers, and the people that make donations to their causes,
Super PACs.
Right.
Yeah.
Good one, Kendall.
So my ignorant notion on that is that, yeah, he did invent electricity and it was free for everybody to use, but they couldn't monetize it, so they silenced him.
Yeah.
Right.
I totally that. Look what's happening to ivermectin right now. Right this minute. We're all watching this happen with ivermectin. Did you see the report that came out from the Department of...
You're talking about horse dewormer?
Yeah, did you see... I'll get this for you guys for next week. But that one of the... I forget which department it was. One of the national, federal departments put out this... It was finally released that back in the beginning of 2020, they put out a document that said ivermectin is a cure,
treatment.
is a treatment for a successful treatment for COVID.
Don't want to get banned.
But then they buried that.
And you know what?
They just came back out again. They just released it. They redacted some of the names on it.
Well, they withheld those pharmaceuticals. Hydrochloroquine,
Yeah.
I'm saying that wrong, but that was another one that they held back, and hundreds of thousands of people died because they were denied those treatments.
And tons of the medical community, doctors and nurses and everybody shunned ivermectin. And even when I went to the doctor, when I went to the emergency room when I had COVID, I was like, "Can I get some ivermectin?" And they were like, "No, we don't endorse that. That's And instead, they pumped me full of this stuff that made me all itchy for days on end. It didn't take away any of my symptoms. I literally had called a good friend of ours, more like family. They called in a prescription for ivermectin for me. Got the ivermectin. By the end of the next day, I was supposed to take 2 doses. It was the first dose on the first day and the second dose on the 4th day. By the 4th day, I was completely better. I was like, I'm not taking another dose. I'm completely better.
It sounds like some white supremacist rhetoric right now.
Really? White supremacist? What's that have to do with ivermectin?
Well, because you go against the narrative, so I'm just going to call you any type of ist or phobe, right, to discredit you. And then half the country will believe it. Unfortunately,
I got you. If it's in a title, if it's in a Facebook title,
yeah, or on CNN, Clown News Network. But have you seen Dallas Buyers Club with Matthew McConaughey?
Oh, that's a good movie.
Exact same situation as what's happening right now.
I thought that was about. Wasn't that about the?
It was about the AIDS pandemic.
Yes, the AIDS pandemic. Yeah.
Right. So they had an approved treatment, right, that hospitals were allowed to administer to AIDS patients. It was killing them in droves, right?
Yeah.
There were pharmaceuticals that weren't available in the United States legally. So Matthew McConaughey's character would go down to Mexico, get these drugs, take them back to the United States, and he actually successfully treated people. He lived a much longer time.
Yeah, I remember hearing it. I saw that movie.
I'm not afraid of you.
It's a pretty good movie.
Another example of medical corruption.
It's very interesting. We don't know all the facts, but I don't know all the facts about ivermectin. I don't know all of the. I can't accuse. Right, so all you independent fact checkers, just calm down. I'm not accusing anybody in the medical community of doing any wrongdoing. All I know is my own personal experience. You can't take my personal experience away from me, and that is that as soon as I took ivermectin, I got better. After like 15 days of being completely wiped out and down from COVID in August of last year, after like 15 days of being almost bedridden, I took ivermectin. By the end of the next day, I was better. And so, that's my personal experience. And a man, listen, this is a big vanism. A man with an experience is never at the mercy of a man with a theory. Think about that one. That's my sound effect right there. Bam!
Yeah. You sound like that racist dude with the podcast.
Oh my God.
What's his name? Joe
Rogan? Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Sure. All right, Mazzani.
The racist.
What do you think about another question? We got any questions in there you want to ask?
Sure. Let's do this one. Well, Neopol would like to know, what is the craziest thing one of your teachers has done?
Well, when I was it's been a long time since I've had any teachers, but when I was in school,
How long?
oh,
I didn't say that.
Many.
Don't look at me.
many moons. I remember the weightlifting coach at my high school. He got in trouble for having a thing with one of the high school girls. They had
relationship, if you know what I'm talking about.
Nice. 4 years.
You remember we talked about this though? The age of younger partners.
What? No.
I don't think it's appropriate for a teacher and a student.
Yeah.
I don't think it's appropriate for an underage person at all to have a relationship with an adult.
Yeah.
But we did discuss this.
Hey,
earlier
hey, I got a cool story. It's not good, it's interesting as far, but a friend of mine, I won't say his name because he's a teacher in the public school systems, but he was telling me about a school that's not far from this studio, that the one teacher got arrested for the bow chicka bow wow.
Was it a female teacher?
And was caught, like walked in on, and it was a female teacher.
Nice.
And
I mean, what?
Wow.
no. Actually, the story's coming back to me. It was her and like the janitor that were getting it on in her classroom or something.
Oh, that's not that bad.
It was elementary school.
We know a story that's bad.
Oh,
But
Why
so-
does that change things,
Are
Mazzotti?
they sex
because they're
offenders
little
now?
kids.
I don't think the kid. I'm pretty sure the kids were not.
We
in-
had one of those
Yeah.
incidences.
We know a
Luke,
story.
was it Luke Bean?
Don't say that.
Girl, you better stop. We gonna get
Oh
arrested.
my gosh! I don't even know
I don't know who that is. That's
But
a type of brand of beans.
We're gonna have to
Baked
change.
beans, delicious, pintos,
We gonna-
greens.
Anybody see that baseball game the other day?
Yeah. That home run was
My
nice.
bad.
Oh my
Yeah, we're
That's
gonna
not accurate though, is it?
Yeah. Okay, first of all, whoever, if that was a real person, we don't know the story. We're not.
You could probably look it up on the news.
That's not the story I was
We're
talking
gonna get
about.
reported.
Just keep on, Mazzotti.
sorry.
Get
I'm
She's
reported.
just shoveling. She
I'm
just,
sorry.
We're gonna get reported.
all right, I'm so sorry. We're gonna have to definitely edit that. That's.
I was trying not to talk about personal things. They brought it up.
You're the
I
one
wasn't
that's.
gonna say it.
That's not even the story we were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, what
it's
were you
not
talking
even
Are you
the
talking
same.
about the PE teacher?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's always the PE.
What we were talking about
What
the other
PE
day.
teacher?
It's always the
Our-
PE teacher.
Anywho.
Our
Or
PE
the
teacher.
drama teacher.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm
We're not
talking
going to
about.
talk about that.
No,
It's a
I-
different circumstance.
I had a.
That's not a different circumstance. It's still disgusting.
When I was in school, there was a teacher. She was the assistant to my teacher, science teacher maybe.
I asked the wrong question.
But she wasn't much. She was very close to my age. She was like, I was probably 18 at the time. I was a senior, and she was probably 22 maybe.
Fresh out of school.
But no, we were just there was just a lot of flirting that went on. You know,
Between you and the teacher?
yeah, a lot of flirting.
You
Give you
did that
answers.
as well?
Oh boy.
Well, I was an 18-year-old kid.
Oh, now see, I think that's a neat
that
idea.
There was this very attractive teacher's assistant that was flirting with me. Of course, I was flirting back with her.
Heck yeah. That's every
I was
high
like,
school boy's dream.
"What's up, girl?"
No, it's college. You're right.
My
What's
sexy
up, girl?
College.
dick.
College, high school.
No, I was in high school, and
We're all old in college.
but
There was only like one or two cute teachers in our whole high school, and all the girls liked him, and he knew it, and that was it. You know, that's pretty
Middle
much it.
school.
But college is different.
well, college is different. That's not even. That's
Yeah, you're a young adult.
yeah.
Yeah, it's still
completely
like not accepted though. You cannot do that.
It's stigmatized, but there's nothing wrong with it.
different. Tell that to Jesus.
No,
If they get married,
no. The issue,
Yes,
issue
if
is
they get
like
married, of
Yeah.
course.
the issue is you don't know if they're giving you good grades or not
I got
because
got
of
a
your
laugh out of Ryan. on that
intelligence.
I mean, if you know the material, it shouldn't be a question.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next question because
What are we talking about?
I will never ask that question
Getting
again.
I have somehow put myself in a hole.
Yeah, Mazzani, you have dug a hole.
Well, can I tell you an interesting story that I remember a teacher doing? And it's
Yeah.
not inappropriate.
This is a PG-13
PG
show,
shirt.
everybody.
This is a PG shirt right here.
PG-13 show, everybody. Let's
Procter
keep
and
that in
Gamble
mind.
shirts.
I'll make it super quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I was in 4th grade, Mr. Brown. This is in Virginia. I went to school with pretty much mixed race, black, white, and Latino, right?
Okay.
I never really thought about race at all. And one day, he would give out tickets, right? Raffle tickets for good behavior or just exceeding in class that day. And at the end of every month, we would have a raffle. And if your ticket gets called, you get to pick from the prizes that the parents would bring in, right?
Okay.
I like where this is going.
Okay. I actually won like an awesome Star Wars Lego set with one ticket at the end of the month. I wasn't a great student or
Oh,
a great
wow.
kid, and I was hyped. Like I just made a
Yeah.
huge scene out of it. But that's besides the point. One day, Mr. Brown is handing out raffle tickets like candy to one half of the room. And I was getting pissed off because I wasn't on that half of the room. And I'm like, what? What? You don't give out tickets for that? Like, oh, I know the answer. It's 4. Oh, you get a ticket.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
Yeah.
All right. And I noticed that he just kept doing it all day, and I was steamed. I was mad.
Did you deduce why?
I had no idea because I was a stupid fourth grader.
Okay.
Then he told us at the end of the day, you guys are going to remember this for the rest of your lives. And I still remember it. It was an exercise he wanted to teach us about bias and racism, basically.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Was he a black teacher? White teacher?
White teacher.
Okay.
Yep. And I actually didn't like him. He was really mean, but I appreciate that he did that, and I will always remember it. I think that, sidetrack, what kids are learning about racism nowadays is complete BS.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was pretty interesting that he did that, and I still remember it.
What was that sound, Kendall? Yeah, that's cool, man. I like those kind of teachers that make those lasting impressions.
I'm proud of you.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I was like waiting for Mazzotti. I was tossing it to her. I was like,
I was letting that sit on my brain because, sheesh, I had so many good teachers, but I don't really have anything that would be like, wow, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, that really stood out to me, or something like that. Oh, you know what? I will tell you that stood out though. Speaking of teachers in 4th grade, that's made me think of it.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell it. I'm sick of you.
oh gosh.
Anyway,
No.
when I was in 4th grade, I was an idiot as well. And I had a frozen orange because I liked my oranges very cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I would take one like once a week to school and have it for lunch. But sometimes I'd have it earlier. And I was like, oh, if I have it earlier, I can't get into this orange. I'm going to take a knife to school.
Oh gosh.
And cut my orange.
That makes sense.
Good idea.
And then lunch comes. And my orange is thawed out, and I was like, I won't need this. And I shoved my knife back in my bag, and Kendall goes, Miss Valcourt, she's got a knife. They called my mom, and my mom had to come pick it up.
Oh my god.
And it wasn't even like pointed on the end; it was like rounded, like
Yeah.
It was a butter knife.
Yeah, like,
It was a butter knife.
are you serious?
Mazzotti went gangster with a butter
And
knife.
I got into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah,
like
that's me.
they were like checking my bag when I went to school.
So Kendall got stitches after that, right?
Snitch.
No, I forgave her.
You jumped her?
No, I
with the
forgave
gang?
her. It's funny now.
She took it out on me for the rest of our life, though.
She's still throwing you under the bus to this day
Friend.
Yeah.
on the International Web Show.
It's really funny. Okay, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
let's do
Talk
it.
about being snitches. I accidentally pushed her into a door frame one time, and she cried about it for a week.
Oh gosh.
My back hurts.
It wasn't an accident, and she had the doorknob in
It
the
was
small
an
of my back,
accident. It was an accident.
and she hit me hard. She bulldozed me,
Sound
bro.
like we need to transition the show
Bulldoze.
to unforgiveness and pent up aggression. Maybe we should address that.
Speaking of aggression and unforgiveness, this next question comes from Mazzotti Speaks. And she would like to know, if you were going to pick to be an old school WWE wrestler, who would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. Before I answer it, Ryan, can you take Linnea boom and go down and then lift her microphone back up? Because if you notice in that shot, we can't see Kendall's face. All we can see is that boom. So if I was going to be an old school wrestler, I liked Macho Man Randy Savage. You guys remember him? Oh, yeah. Snap into a Slim Jim.
What? Last one?
You guys remember that commercial? Slim Jim commercials?
Is he a WWE wrestler?
Yeah.
Ew. I'm sorry. That's fine. That's great.
And what are some? Of course, you got like.
You get to pick one.
Oh, I only get one. Okay.
You will come back around.
I'll
to
do
it.
that. It'll be Macho Man Randy Savage.
Ric Flair back in the day. There's nobody
Yeah.
that had more of a stage
All
presence.
right, go ahead and
Yeah.
do it. Do your best, Ric Flair.
No, I wouldn't
Do
do
it.
it justice.
Stealing.
I
Do
wouldn't
it.
justice.
Wheeling and dealing.
Come on now. Okay, we'll go back into the hole. What about you guys back there? I hear you.
Oh, man.
In the hole.
I never watched WWE.
Nerd.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You never
Ryan.
jumped off the back of the couch or anything?
No.
No DDT.
I know John
Pile
Cena.
driver.
I know John
What?
Cena.
Oh wow!
Wait a minute.
That's all he knows.
Oh my god.
You know John Cena from Fred.
John
okay?
Cena,
The movie Fred.
Like-
That's where you know John Cena from.
he's used to being in the dark and can't see his hand in front of his face.
Can you see me?
The Rock.
I've never seen this.
Where's
dude.
my
Everybody
Where's
talks
my
about
laughter sound effects there? I'm
No
telling
one
jokes.
thought it was funny.
Oh man.
I would be probably Batista.
it. Hey, question.
That we said
yeah.
old school.
Yeah, he's
Okay, well
he's
then
early 2000s.
we'll do
Ray
Rikishi.
Mysterio.
Who?
Rikishi.
You remember
was that?
Booker T?
Booker T was
Booker
alright.
T,
Yeah,
yeah,
he wore
you could
green.
do
I remember
Booker T.
Booker T, but I don't want Booker T. Is that because I'm black? I picked Rikishi.
Who's that?
He was the bigger guy. He like a sumo wrestler, and he would shake his butt in people's face.
Oh no.
And he had the beads. I thought that was hilarious.
I don't remember.
So disrespectful.
I don't remember.
Oh, what about Stone
Did you
Cold?
see that guy on like a live wrestling
No,
show, like at your
bro.
local high school?
No,
'Cause-
What?
do you
Backyard
see him in the
Masters
room now?
Rikishi, I think died. Honey.
talk like Booker T
No, Rikishi died legit.
for the rest
Oh,
of
really?
the show.
Yeah, that was hurt me in my heart.
A lot of those guys died.
Ray Mysterio.
Randy Savage, Macho Man Randy Savage died.
Yeah.
Didn't Ray Mysterio die?
I don't think Eddie Guerrero died.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio's he's still alive and kicking.
Is he?
Yeah.
Did you guys?
Chris
Did you
Benoit?
guys pick him?
He was really big.
I
liked
picked
What
a
about
bunch of them.
what about Hulk Hogan?
ever since he got
brother.
he went like to Hollywood. Like he had a reality show. And
Didn't he get canceled for a while because the old tape came out of him saying the N word or something like that?
Sheesh.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, like they literally, like WWE took him off of their website, took his merchandise off their website and everything.
Was it out of context or was it out of malice?
I think it was out of, I think he had said it in malice, but it was like from 15 or 20 years prior.
Yeah.
And they just took it and used it against him.
Do you think somebody who says that and doesn't know that they're being recorded, like somebody who says that in confidence, do you think that they're beyond redemption?
I don't think anybody's beyond redemption. I mean, even if somebody says something, look at how evil my life used to be before Christ changed my life, you know? So, I mean, if God can save me and change me and forgive me, then I think anybody's got some salvation options.
Nobody said the Undertaker.
I literally.
Oh, yeah.
That's the first thing I said.
Oh,
I even went.
I used to go around.
Undertaker.
I used to go around with my eyes like that.
I literally even like deepened my voice when you first said that. I was like,
Undertaker.
Is probably the best wrestler of all time as far as stage presence.
Yeah.
Like all the lights going
The
out.
lights go down, and he
I
can
used to
roll
be
his
so
eyes
scared.
backwards.
Yeah, it was scary, bro.
He
I
could
love
literally
that.
do that. Like he can roll his eye. I can't
Just
do it.
appears in
Well,
the
let me
middle
go
of the
for it.
ring.
Try it, Mazzoni.
Okay.
It's the Undertaker.
You gotta.
You know,
Bitch's gonna steal chair.
that dude had to work for a long time to be able to do that. You know, roll his eyes.
Imagine how his eyes feel now. They're like got extra muscles in them or something.
He probably has migraine.
Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that guy on America's Got Talent that could pop his eyeballs out of his head?
stop. It's disgusting.
That was so gross.
Was it?
You guys didn't see that?
I thought you had a thyroid problem.
He probably does. It was gross.
I'm sorry. Okay. So has everybody shared? We're good. We're going to the next thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Have we
All
talked
right.
about the trucker convoy yet in Canada?
No.
Oh, I thought we talked about that.
more racist and homophobes.
I mean, if you want to talk about it, let's do it.
Well, I just didn't know if anybody asked questions.
Oh my
about
gosh,
that.
Rikishi is alive. Oops.
Was he a wrestler? Like a WWE wrestler? Do we got
Yeah.
pictures of him? Maybe that would remind me.
Yeah, you might not remember him. I only remember him because he used to make me laugh. Anybody who makes me laugh, I'm gonna remember him.
Yeah,
You know?
I understand that.
Yeah. I hope I remember you.
Have I ever made you laugh? I hope I remember you. Who was that guy?
You never made her laugh.
Help me out, guys. Who was that
Known my
guy?
entire
Kind of
life.
like my dad.
Yeah.
I was like on a web show with him for like 2 or 3 years.
You know what though? You have made me laugh. That one time when I had a really bad bellyache and I didn't want to tell you, and Kendall came and told you, and you went to the store to buy me some Imodium. And you came back to give it to me. You didn't give it to Kendall because you were like, you could have just asked me, Mazzani. You shouldn't feel uncomfortable. I love you. You know that.
That's right.
And then my stomach started doing noises, and you go, but I don't love that. And then you handed me the medicine and you disperse.
Yeah, I don't like being around when people's insides come out.
Oh God. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You ready for the next question?
I'm ready.
I'm so sorry about that. Let me put up a couple of these.
The Uso brothers are his sons.
Oh yeah, I remember them.
Who's?
Probably, what's his name? Was on it?
Rikishi.
Rikishi? Rikishi?
Yeah.
We're just popping
Or
up
Jake
with,
the Snake. Forgot about Jake the Snake. Thank you, Jeffrey. Jake the Snake.
I don't know who this is actually.
How about the Hart brothers?
Yep. Was that? I just deleted it.
In your brain?
I think I'm cute.
Oh,
I know I'm sexy. I'll make the girls go wild. Shawn Michaels.
Oh yeah, Shawn Michaels. Yeah. What about Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
That was before my time.
You remember him, Hacksaw Jim Duggan? What about Rowdy Rodney Piper?
Oh yeah,
You guys remember him?
You notice we're all naming men. We're not naming any of the women.
Do they even have women in the WWE anymore?
Now, yeah, they're all
Yeah, they do.
just about sex appeal
but
right
like
now.
back in the day, they did have
Back
them
in the day,
as
they
well.
had wrestlers, women that.
Yeah.
Trish Stratus.
I just don't remember any.
It was still about sex appeal back then.
Well, I don't remember if they had a lot of women that wrestled. It was more like, from my memory, I may be wrong. Help me if you're watching, if you know this. But from my memory, it was usually you had one of the wrestlers' girlfriends, and she always like tripped up guys or like threw chairs in or whatever. You know.
Who's Gail Kim? Gail Kim. Layla.
I remember her.
Layla.
Chyna.
Michelle McCool.
Oh yeah, Michelle McCool.
Oh wow.
Trish
Katarina
Stratus.
Waters. She looks familiar.
I don't remember her.
She looks mad familiar. They did have some girls. What? Who is Hornswoggle?
Oh, they had some girls.
Hornswallow.
He's
Hornswoggle.
Oh, you know what? There was an interesting. He was cast as one of the seven dwarves for the new Snow White movie, and people were coming at him saying you shouldn't do that because that's offensive towards little people. And he's like, little people have a hard time getting roles in Hollywood. This is a perfect fit for me. I think it was Hornswoggle. It might have been. Oh, the dude from Game of Thrones came at him saying that it was offensive.
Is he small or something?
He's a little person. Hornswoggle is. Yeah, and he's like, I'm happy to have this role.
Yeah.
Like cancel culture basically canceled him out of the role.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So,
Angering.
the world we live in.
You know, I never. Again, I don't know him on a personal level. That I've never really liked that actor.
He seems kind of
That dude on
conceited.
because he was in Lord of the Rings too, right? Wasn't he one of the big dudes that made the? No, he was in
He was in Game of
Infinity
Thrones.
War.
No, it was Marvel Avengers with Thor. He was one that remade the axe. Yeah.
Yep.
I just never. I don't know. Just something about him I've never cared for. Just it may be like he always just struck me as kind of like that pompous kind of guy.
That's why he's great for Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
He was immaculate in Game of Thrones.
He's a great character in Elf. Remember, he was the.
Yeah, again, kind of angry, pumping, and maybe that's just like the roles
Wait,
that
he played an elf on Elf?
Remember,
Yeah,
you're
and he
such
literally
a
just.
He didn't
wow.
play an
You're
elf on Elf.
you're an angry little elf.
Yeah. Remember the business guy?
Oh.
from
You
Elf?
call me elf one more time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're an angry little
So
elf.
this next question comes from Timothy
Shut up, you
Blanchett.
big sack of dog vomit.
I didn't know what you were going to say.
That's hilarious. Questions for
That's
everyone
good.
willing
Keep
to
them
answer.
coming, Kendall. That's good.
Questions for everyone willing to answer. What is something people are always surprised to learn about you?
Oh gosh, Kevin. Good question. What is something people are always surprised that I can touch my toes.
Really?
Yeah, like
See?
What?
I'm very like flexible like that. Yeah. You know, like some people like can't just like keep their legs and their knees locked and still reach down and touch their toes. You know, I can put my palms on them.
Where have I heard
Oh,
that
wow.
before?
Yeah, I'm very flexible.
Comes
But
in.
I'm a big fella, so if people are like, "Wow, well, look at the reaction in this very studio when I just announced that." Everybody was like, "Big fat guy can touch your toes."
I just think it's a weird thing to
I
say.
did not think.
It's very weird. He asked, "What's something weird and unusual that people when they find
I
out?"
ain't
about
say
it?"
that. No, ma'am.
So yeah, that's something that you know. But
Andrew?
Andrew, what about you?
I would
Can
say
you touch your toes?
no. Yeah, I can't.
He's a horticulturist.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yes.
I have like 20 houseplants that I take care of. Actually, today, Tuesdays are watering days.
Oh, really?
But
do you have them named?
No.
Do you call their names when you come in the house? Larry.
They actually say that's important.
I was about to say you're lucky.
They say that.
To play
Yeah,
all those
definitely
sounds,
will.
but
Larry, I'm home. Margaret.
Mordecai.
Anyways.
Mordecai.
Francis, put that down.
You're not doing so well. I was going to say, a lot of people are surprised when they find out
that I'm a red-blooded, Second Amendment supporting patriot.
Oh.
And I love me some Donald Trump.
because, you know, they
that's true.
They look
They
at me,
stereotype you, and they think that you're going to be a millennial liberal.
part of the monolith.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I bet you do get that a lot when you.
100%. Or even yesterday.
Hello, I'm queer, and now I'm here.
Yesterday, I'm doing an inspection, and one of the homeowners said, like, "Yeah, you got all these liberals out here," and I was like, "What do you mean by that?"
Bend over to the floor. Cameron, that just sounds bad.
To the window.
He's like, bend over and touch your toes.
It never happened. I want to see it. Let's do it.
Our cameras aren't set up to capture that. So.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
But hey, I can
cover.
I can stick my tongue out and touch my eyebrow.
Do it, please.
No.
Do it.
Oh my gosh, stop. No, stop. Y'all are so stupid. Y'all are so
It is
dumb.
possible.
How are we stupid?
Close up,
Y'all are
close
so dumb.
Are you ready? Here goes.
Get it. Wait, we need a close.
No, he's gonna stick his tongue out and touch his eyebrow. I just realized what he meant.
All right.
See?
Ready?
We fell for it.
All y'all suckers out
Yes,
there
you
fell
did.
for that.
Yes, you did.
Oh man.
Go back to the home.
Dad jokes, y'all.
I'm
Dad
mind
jokes.
blown.
Take it
That
to
was
the home.
impressive.
What about
I had
you
the
guys?
whole world for 30 seconds going, oh my gosh.
He can touch
What
his
about you?
I don't even
Slash?
know if he can really touch his toes now. Can we believe anything he says?
What about Splash? I want to know what people don't know about him.
Diabetes.
Masani, why are you
It's the
laughing?
way he said it.
Why are you laughing so hard?
It's-
Do you always laugh at people with diabetes?
No, but it makes me think about that.
Yeah, I had someone I considered like a really close friend.
Masani, she subscribes to American Diabetes Foundation just so she could get some entertainment.
Diabetes.
It's terrible.
Sorry.
Mommy.
No, have you seen that Vine where that little girl's like, my dad has a gold tooth, and they're eating ice cream. She goes, my dad has diabetes. Have you not seen that? When he said it, that's what I thought.
The way he says it all the time, though, like just
Yeah.
so casually, diabetes.
I mean, yeah, like
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know. Like, I mean, like I said, I like throughout high school, I had this one guy that I was like kind of friends with. I was just friends with him in class, but I literally had a class with him in high school all 4 years. And like my senior year, we like actually started hanging out, and he saw me like check my blood sugar or something, or put insulin in, and he was like, "What are you doing? Like, I've known you for 4 years. You don't know that I'm diabetic?" And I was like, "Oh, I guess it never came up in class." But yeah, a lot of people, that's nobody.
Yeah,
knows
and you
that.
don't look, you're an athlete, and
What do diabetics look like?
most of the time they're fat.
Type 2.
Yeah.
I'm just,
It's
Wow.
it's hard for anyone with type 1
If I was you, I would not go home tonight,
to tell
Dad.
that they're diabetic unless it's like.
well, no
very-
kidding. I mean, people that are overweight, it's a attributing factor to diabetes. I mean, and also the doctors say lose weight and your diabetes will go away. It's like,
Yeah.
don't come at me. I'm not the bad guy here.
No, you're right.
Matter of fact, I at one point, I thought maybe I was like pre-diabetic, whatever. So I went to get checked out, and I wasn't. Thank the Lord. But but he said to me, he's like, "You better lose some weight, fat boy." He didn't say that, but because he's smaller than I am.
Ryan, can you tell me about your lived experience?
But he is brutal, by the way. My doctor.
They should be. They should be brutally honest with you.
No, he's just like insulting.
Must not
They-
want to
they
give up
should
brutal
be.
money.
If they
Yeah.
care about you.
Yeah.
I mean, all this narrative.
No, it says things like, "I see you keeping your girlish figure." Like, that's
Okay.
offensive.
Yeah. Not the song. Oh, well, Ryan, can you
Don't
tell me?
start with that.
Can you tell me about your lived experience under the Biden administration when it comes to purchasing insulin?
I don't know enough about that because it is like filled through a prescription with my doctor.
Okay.
And it's like covered in like the insurance I'm under my dad. So like
Okay.
I
So you-
myself have not paid for my own insulin before, but there was a moment in time where it was actually a couple months ago. They just stopped covering my insulin, and I went to go pick it up, and they were like, just one like vial, or I think it was 2 vials, or it was a box, something like that. It wasn't that much. It was over $1,000.
Wow.
And I was like, oh well, I kind of need that to live, but I can't pay for that. So
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Your insurance company's paying 3 times more for it now under the Biden administration.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know if it's expensive or it's just.
It hasn't cost any more to make. Again, it's like ivermectin. I was mentioning this earlier about ivermectin. If you notice that since they released that thing, and I don't, you guys go research this if you don't believe me. This isn't about sticking my tongue out and touching my eyebrow thing. If since they released that document from that State Department saying that ivermectin is safe, and now the cat's out of the bag, and they're going to have to like address this, and like the medical community is going to have to face this proof. The price of ivermectin has gone through the roof. It's crazy. Like I think it was like $15 or $18 for my prescription when she called in for me. But that was before it was accepted. Now that it's accepted, it's like I don't know, $150 or something. It's crazy.
It's crazy expensive. Cause I remember because we were waiting to switch it up and maybe get something new, or wait trying to get in touch with the insurance company to get them to cover it. And I tried to just use GoodRx just to do it, and it took it literally just took like $5 off of it. So it was
Midterms coming up.
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
For school?
No, midterm elections are coming up.
Hey, so Kendall.
What?
And Linnea.
Sorry, I don't know why I said what.
Are y'all listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
What's something that somebody doesn't know about you?
Doesn't
That's
know
a
or
good-
surprised to
yeah, that's
learn?
good.
Surprised to learn.
Surprised to learn
Oh,
about
well,
you.
people who don't know me, like outside of you guys and my family, always are like, what? Whenever I tell them I have 3 kids.
What? Oh my God!
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Everybody's like, oh, how old are you? And it's even worse when I tell them my age.
What about
Do you want to tell everybody your age? No, I'm just kidding.
A lady never tells.
57.
Huh?
You're not supposed to ask a lady her age.
I know. I asked if she wanted to tell
Thank
us
you,
her
Andrew.
age. I didn't ask her age. I gave her the opportunity to share that she was 17 years old.
Hold on now. That's disgusting.
Oh my God.
Why would I be 17 with 3 kids?
It happens. Maybe they were
I'm
triplets.
just trying to boost our ratings.
Well, back in the medieval days.
All right. Anybody else back there want to share on this topic? Anybody? Nobody?
Mine is that people don't know that I like to read.
That's a lie.
What do you like to read?
No, I swear.
Can you
swear.
read?
Yeah, I can read.
She can't read.
People
What
assume
What
that
do you like to read? What things do you like to read
what I
about?
like to read about.
Yeah. What kind of books do you have?
Fictional, paranormal, mostly.
Waste of time.
Oh, fictional
I don't care.
paranormal.
I look at reading as an escape from.
Yeah, it's like watching TV or
It's a
something.
relaxation method in my mind, and I like to more picture what I want my characters to look like from my own point of view, as opposed to seeing someone else's depiction on a screen. And I really appreciate vivid writers, like Kristen Fahan and Rachel Mead and things like that. Just to name a few.
Yeah.
I don't really even know a lot of like authors' names, but I could tell you like a whole book. You could show me the cover, I could tell you what it's about.
Oh, right. Did you read the Twilight series?
Is that
Twilight.
a question? Is that really a question?
Getting everybody that was a teenager read Twilight. That was a girl, all girl
I did not.
teenagers.
No.
Yeah, but you went to the movies, so don't play me.
You're right.
She was like, my daddy won't let me watch those. Yeah, you watched them.
No, that's not a lie. I wasn't allowed to watch them until I watched them with him first.
Well, yeah, I did, but
So he could be like, oh my gosh,
that's what
cover your
kind of
eyes,
snowballed
Scandal.
me into reading.
They're
Well, I
showing
started out actually with
biceps.
anime, like reading Bleach and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I think I can just swallow like a larger book. And I did read Twilight, and then I started reading like Vampire Academy, and then my mom got me a Christine Fahan book for the first time called
Glad
Dark
you're
Celebration.
Okay.
And I honestly though, I'll tell you this, it was the best book I ever read, and Mom did not read any of like the synopsis or nothing.
Oh, really?
So I opened, mind you, this was in middle school. I opened
Did it
that
have
book up.
inappropriateness in it?
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
100%. After that, I was reading every day. I was engrossed.
Yeah.
I
then
read. I
she's
would just
like, "Let me
consume
a
books
book."
like food.
Yeah.
You ever had
can't
so you go to the
say
movies,
no.
you get those nerds candies?
Yeah.
Like the nerds ropes. Yeah. It's good
Yeah.
stuff.
All right, next
Andrew.
question.
That was bad.
Yeah, that's how we feel when he talks about politics. Anyway,
Oh.
Listen, I'm not just talking about politics. I'm talking about social events that are pertinent. They actually matter. They affect you. They affect
That's
our
right.
future, and they affect our kids'
That's
futures.
true.
Everybody should be informed.
You have
and
kids?
We're grossly misinformed. I will have kids. one day.
grossly.
The majority of
Grossly.
Americans are grossly misinformed because they listen to
He
the
said
lying
nerd.
mainstream media. They listen to the establishment that just feeds them
Nerd
BS
alert!
and
Yeah.
keeps them in the dark.
Everybody
it's
has
true.
a way of being a nerd, and that's his.
And so I get fired up about that because
Yeah.
I care about this country. I care about our futures, and I think everybody should
I
care about
agree.
it too.
I agree.
yeah, why are you forced that upon others though? We don't have.
I don't
to.
know that he's forcing it. He's just sharing his opinion on
Sharing,
those things.
sharing what I know. And,
Yeah.
and I feel like I'm doing you a service by letting
You're
you know.
doing me a service.
I feel like I'm doing.
You're
the
doing me
people
a
that I have-
disservice
What?
because I'm attempting to unwind and have a good time, and you wanting to pin me up with all this energy.
The end is nigh. Just know that.
That's fine.
Stock
Jesus,
up.
come calling.
Yeah.
We still got to fight.
Definitely is a challenging
have to
time
fight.
in this country in regards to the leadership and politics and all of that stuff countrywide. It's an interesting thing. If you look at all the great countries over in history, Rome, England, all these different great countries, they've all got to the pinnacle and stayed there for about 200 to 300 years. And then because of these issues that America's dealing with now, it's the same issues that they dealt with. That's what tanked their countries.
Privilege.
And so it's essentially what happens. The problem with success and freedom is that eventually somebody that's crazy gets in control because you give all these freedoms, and then everybody else has to have freedom. So if they can do it, then I can do it. And then you get somebody that's actually in leadership that's has no reason, no justification for being in leadership. You know what I mean?
Okay, Jeffrey.
And so then you have some issues. What's it say? It's one of the reasons I watch the show is for the political talks. Thank you, Jeffrey Turner. Thank you. And just so you know,
Are you okay?
it didn't go our way at the Super Bowl, but we were pulling for your team because of you. So we're not typically Bengals fans, but because of you, Jeffrey, we wanted to see them come around. And so
I love bracelets.
didn't really go our way, but we were definitely cheering it on for you. So, okay. So, what do you think?
Yes, let's go to the next question. So sorry, honey. So sorry.
That
Kendall Estes would like to know.
that is encouraging that he said that he watches the show because of the political comments. So that's very that gives me some
Yeah,
encouragement.
I can eat it. I'll suffer through it. It's fine. It's fine. Not everybody has to.
Well,
like
the reality
same
is
thing.
most other media that entertainment you watch on TV is going to come from a liberal point of view. So to have a show where people are blatantly conservatives that care about the country, care about God, and care about each other, sharing things, and we're funny also, it's a rarity to find something like this. So let us get our politics on for a minute or two, maybe.
A minute or two is acceptable,
Okay.
but you guys rant.
It's social too. Social.
Also, hey, since we're on this topic, what I no, that's exactly what I was getting ready to say. I think that our political conversations can be enlightened and be more joyful by having good sound effects like that to break up the kind of. If it does seem like exactly. If it seems like we're going too long on a topic, that or if it seems boring for some, like maybe Jeffrey's loving what we're talking about, but maybe Mazzani or somebody's not loving what we're talking about, then we can drop in this funny sound effect like that lightens the mood, and then everybody's happy again, and then it doesn't seem like we're going so long on that topic. Does that make sense?
Can I just
Kendall.
comment on it?
Yeah.
Well, that's a testament to the privilege that we have to be afforded the ability to not care.
Let me talk first, all right?
Okay,
To
sorry.
be afforded to not care about what's actually
agree.
happening to this country.
I definitely agree.
Which is a problem.
It is a problem, and it is a testament to the success of our country that we're not at a place as a country where everybody is so stressed by these problems yet.
Since we're on the talk of this,
Until it's too late.
Unfortunately, it's usually too late.
I have a question. Why should people who don't care truly care if there are people like you who do?
Because the vote matters. That's the reason. If we don't all come together, then nothing will change. It's just the vast majority will look at the ones that do speak up and say, he's boring to listen to. He's just popping off until it's too late, and now your freedoms are gone, and you're screwed. Look what's happening in Canada right now.
Mm-hmm.
This red hot minute in Canada with the trucker convoy. what happened, if you guys that aren't familiar with this situation, Mazzani, I don't know if you are or not, but what's happened is they pushed all these mandates, these COVID vaccine mandates on everybody, but specifically truck drivers have stood up and said, no, like, I'm not doing this. And so they've created a truck convoy where they've traveled to the capital of the country, and they literally had a stand-in with their trucks. They parked their trucks in the middle of the roads to block traffic and said, we're, like, not violently, just having a peaceful protest, like, we're not doing this. We demand that you release these mandates on us, especially after all these CDC things come out that prove that all that stuff is not necessary anyways. Mm-hmm. But they said, we demand that you release these things. This is what, go read it for yourself if you don't believe me. And literally 3 days ago, whenever it was, earlier, the end of last week or whatever, Trudeau, the prime minister, because of all of that, because of all the traction they were gaining in the country, he declared a state of emergency. And they were completely peaceful protests. He declared a state of emergency. Now the military comes in. They're busting truckers' windows and ripping truckers out of the truck and beating them up and arresting them and hauling them off, violently arresting people. And so they've got a serious problem. Now the reason I'm telling you guys all this is obviously that's a problem, whatever. But one of the problems that they're having is they don't have guns.
They do.
Well, they don't have the NRA like we do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they don't have the gun freedoms we have. There's a lot more restrictions on guns, and it's a lot more. So they've given up a lot of their freedoms with guns. Let that happen in Washington, D.C. You know, let that happen in this country where you have people having peaceful protests, tens of thousands, like a huge majority of the people. They just represent the voice of the majority of the people. You know, even in this country, how many people want all the vaccines and mandates and all that stuff to go away or done with it? Obviously, we want safety. We want people to have the choice to wear a mask if they feel uncomfortable, instead of being forced to wear a mask. We want people to have the choice to have a vaccine if they want the vaccine or if they feel uncomfortable, instead of being forced to have a vaccine. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine that?
Or being fired because you don't have one.
Yes, or being fired. Can you imagine that? Yeah. Government forcing you to put something in your body that you're not comfortable with? I mean, like, what are we even talking about?
Or have no knowledge of what's going in. You know what I'm saying? No.
Yeah, for whatever reason you don't understand or you're not comfortable with it, you should have the choice of whether or not you put that in your body. But that's not the point of this statement. The point of this statement is, back to your question, Mazzani, which is, why should people who don't care? And that is, if you don't care and you don't take action, or you don't join the side that's taking action, then the people that are making the decisions can pass laws that take away your freedoms, take away your rights to have guns, or take away your things. And that's exactly what happened in Venezuela as well. Mm-hmm. The same thing. People that didn't care because they had jobs and they had families, and it's just, we don't have time to mess with this politics, whatever. Next thing you know, the government passed laws that say, okay, we have to give up your guns. Well, everybody's like, oh, we got to give up our guns. Yeah, you got to give up your guns. So they give up their guns. Next thing, the government says, oh, now you got to take these. It's not what, at the time it didn't have the vaccine, but it'd be the equivalent of saying you must take these vaccines. You must do these things. Anyways, the whole country, go research what's going on in Venezuela right now. It's upside down. It is turned into a third world country nearly overnight. In 10 years, it turned into a third world country.
Yep. Dictatorship.
Like dictatorship, poverty, crazy stuff, because people didn't care. It just wasn't interesting to them. The problem is America is so entertainment fed. We have to have entertainment. We have to have these things that constantly bring us temporary pleasures and stimulate our minds and all this stuff, you know?
I agree with that.
And so when we hear somebody, you know, ranting about politics, we're like, that's so boring. I don't want to hear it. It's not entertaining to me, right? And so we just turn a blind eye to it. So when it comes time to actually pay attention to it, it's because something that we didn't pay attention to before has now come in and invaded our life and demanded our attention, but now it's too late. You know,
it's also the consumerism, the privilege that we have. We're so focused on, got to go to work, 9 to 5, got a family to take care of. I don't have time to focus on these things that are, you know, they don't make me happy, they don't please me, right?
Yeah.
I have to keep up with my rent that is now 25% higher. I have to keep up with inflation. I have to just focus on these things that affect me, my daily life, right? While the powers that be continue to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And it's not in my favor. And people take that for granted. They think that our leaders have our best interests in mind, and that's just not the case.
And another reason why a lot of people, Mazzani, answer your question, a lot of people don't care. It's not that maybe they don't care. They just don't think that anything they say or do is going to make a difference. You know, that's very popular opinion as well. But look what Southwest Airline employees did. They shut the system down because they said, no, we're not getting vaccinated, and we'll all just stay home. And
pilots.
And so the whole corporation basically said, okay, sorry, we can't even operate if you guys aren't here. So as in numbers,
all right, but just listen to me for 5 seconds.
is in numbers, there's power in numbers, and so as a group of people, those employees all stood together as one.
We learned from slavery.
Well, that's different. It's not really applicable to that argument.
It's a joke.
Yeah,
you're diving too deeply into
maybe Nat Turner. Maybe
no, I was just saying. I'm just saying you learned from history, and had they banded together, there's strength in numbers. That's what my joke was.
Yeah, exactly. And back then slaves didn't do that. They didn't
exactly. So I'm saying
if they would have,
that experience.
Absolutely. Well, that's Nat Turner did that. He banded together, and
Kanye said that.
Yeah, Nat Turner, he attracted to himself. It ended up being about 60-some people that were in his little army that were going through, and and they did empower a number. They made a
small platoon,
a big impact on the South.
You know what though, low key, I will say this. I normally don't like to hear you guys conversate, but there was a lot of passion in the things that you just said. You made some relevant points.
Well, thank you.
I got one more thing to say. I think that we are in a cold civil war right now, a war of information. Right? Look at what Trudeau said about those truckers, people who were fighting for freedom, peacefully, not mostly peaceful protests like we saw from BLM, $2 billion of property damage the last 2 years. They were legitimately peacefully protesting.
My sister was like, she lives there, by the way. Her and her family like made banners and were standing out like saying they weren't screaming angrily. They were just like, hey, freedom and stuff like that.
They're shutting down restaurants that serve those truckers right now. I mean, they're coming after them. The authoritarian movement. But look at what Trudeau said about those truckers. He said their views were unacceptable. He called them homophobes, racist, misogynist, anti-Semites.
And they weren't arguing any of those statements.
Every name in the book. They might have even had like a bad actor go out there. What are they called? A planted agent to make them look bad.
Well, let me just say, we got to wrap this up. But let me just say, right now in America, you can't do anything about Canada, but in America, they're starting a thing called the People's Convoy. I think they're starting it in the next couple of days if they haven't already. It's over. Starting in California, it's truckers that are going to convoy from there all the way across the country to Washington, D.C., and they're going to accumulate numbers as they come across the country. So pay attention to that. Do your part if these are passionate things that you're passionate. If you want to become passionate about how to make change in America, do your part. We need your numbers, even if it's just one. One added to it increases the numbers, and so pay attention to that People's Convoy and see what you can do to help with that as it travels towards the nation's capital to make a change, make a difference. So
let's do one last question.
Let's do one more question,
and we'll make it lighthearted.
There we go. Socialism. This question is, what do you think about socialism?
This question comes from Kendall Estes. She wants to know what is something that you've heard someone say that made them look sweet and vulnerable.
Oh, that is kind of a hard question.
Is it?
What is something that you have heard someone say that made them look sweet and vulnerable?
I like where this is going.
Am I set up? Like, am I supposed to already know this right off the top of my head?
I don't think so. I'll feel the silence while you think. One is a show that me and Kendall's watching right now.
And me.
And Linnea. And it's whenever one of the main characters says, you think other people will think that I look handsome. Like looking for someone's opinion on how they look.
Yes.
Validation.
That was sweet and very vulnerable. Because like,
really?
What if she'd be like, no, bro, you don't. I think that's very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't give any background to the situation.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, well, you could have said it.
But it was a sweet moment.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I know that feeling you're talking about.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Like when you
I don't have an
bury
answer for this one. What are you thinking, Andrew?
I think you're on the right path, though. I mean, everybody has insecurities, so to be able to acknowledge that you deal with them like everybody else is it shows how human you are and how acceptable that is to deal with those types of things. So,
But you don't have anything in particular that you've heard that you were like, that's Wow.
Maybe. I don't know. I
That's
think
heartfelt.
it takes an empathetic person to be able to recognize that too. So maybe, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Let's do another question. We got any more?
Yeah, we can do one more. Let's do it.
'Cause
Yeah, what was you about to say? What other one?
About a place you would visit.
Oh, okay. Let's do Kendall's other question. She said, "Where is a place you have visited that you would never visit again?"
Parts of Charlotte I will never visit ever again.
Oh man, there was this one portalet.
Oh wow! No, that was quality. That's a good answer.
I would say I don't know. I really did not like Washington D.C., but I would probably go back to Washington D.C.
Yeah. Cool city.
It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool city.
Anyways,
Somewhere that you visited that you would never visit again.
Never visit. I will tell you Maryland. I hate Maryland.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Man, the people of Maryland are great, I'm sure, but not the politics. We lived in Maryland, in Rockville, Maryland, for a year, and they hide freaking cameras in these little boxes off the side of the road behind bushes and junk like that. And as you drive down the road, the camera snaps a picture of your car. It has like a radar gun on it, right? Yeah. And if it's a 35-mile-an-hour zone and you're doing 39, it'll snap a picture and mail you a freaking ticket.
Wow.
Oh, now see, I think that's a neat idea.
I hated that. I was so nervous about just driving to the freaking store.
That's why, Van, you got to be active in your local community government. You got to go and say, this is BS.
This is
We need to
wrong.
change it, right? This is government
Stand up
overreach.
and vote.
Mm-hmm.
Go vote.
The place I never visit again would probably be that girl with the dirty shower curtain.
What?
There's a lot to unpack. Right there.
There's a lot of
No, that's what you do. You know how you have those friends. This is how you know if you're going to be friends anymore. You go spend a night with them, and you shower before you go. But you say, "Hey, can I take a shower?"
What? Oh my god!
And then you go and you pull the shower curtain back, and you look at it.
And
And
you
that
check and
thing's
see
dirty.
if they're dirty people.
Yeah, you get you get a tummy ache instantly.
Oh gosh,
my
you don't have
stomach
to
hurt.
lick it.
My stomach hurts so bad. I gotta call my mom.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You don't really get a tummy ache.
No, you're just
You
not
just
friends
leave.
anymore. And then you leave and you never talk to them.
So you're
again.
like, as old as you are, you still call your mom so you can leave with a tummy ache?
Sometimes I will text her and let her know, "Hey, Mom, I need you to call me with some type of emergency." I swear, I've done that on a date before. Mom, call me.
Is that what
right
happens
now.
at work all the time? You're like, the phone rings, like, I gotta go.
Look, you done told on yourself.
Got him. What?
Busted.
Told on yourself.
Anybody else want to throw an answer in there real quick before we head out?
Oh,
I don't.
no.
Was your question?
Nobody else?
I can't think of somewhere that I've been.
Somewhere
Not on
you've
the
been, you would
spot
never go
like
back?
that. Oh, man.
You ever been thrown out of a bar before?
Actually, Cleveland.
Cleveland.
You
Cleveland,
were thrown out
Ohio?
of Cleveland?
No.
You'll never go back to
No,
Cleveland?
I would never. I mean, like I would go. There was like some cool parts, but it was the most disgusting. I'm sorry, but it was the most disgusting place I've ever.
Oh, really?
Just Ohio in general.
Yeah, that's how I
Like-
feel about Maryland.
Like I drove around a lot of Ohio, and that's where my girlfriend lives. But
Let me tell you.
that's where she's from. She doesn't live there.
Oh,
But I will
we
say-
are picking fights tonight.
There was literally when I was driving in Ohio, there was literally a highway that had a counter since the days, like since an accident, because I forget what highway
It's
it was.
the
but
highway to hell.
Literally, like it's one of the most dangerous highways.
Looks like
And
Constantine.
It's a 6-lane highway, or I guess
Autobahn?
or 12. Like there's
Yeah.
6 on the one side, 6 on the other. So I was like, how are there so many accidents? So I just
Yeah.
it would when I visited Cleveland, it was. I had like some fun going to like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but other than that, it was
They're called the Browns for a reason.
yeah, it was terrible.
Oh, that's brilliant, Jeffrey. On that note, we're going to end this show. Thanks, guys, for watching this episode of the Ask Big Van Show. We love you. We're so thankful you're a part of the show. If you're one of my children or grandchildren or generations after me, this is what I look like when I'm 47 with a clean shave. Kind of not real clean, kind of clean. But and Andrew's hand patting my cheek there. But I just want to say, I just encourage you to seek the Lord and Read the Bible. God knows the plans he has for you. Every single one of you watching the show, God knows the plans he has for you. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and bring you peace and joy in the future." I'm butchering that scripture. But anyways, go read it for yourself. Everybody, friends and family, love you guys. See you guys on the next episode next week on the Ask Big Van Show. God bless you.
Hey everybody, this is Big Van, and if you'd like to watch our show live, then you must subscribe and follow so that it alerts you when we're on the air. Be sure to check out the links below for some live show times and some very cool products so you can have your own conversation starters. We can't wait to see you and your questions and comments on the next live Ask Big Van Show.